It's Miss Roseann Sunday School, won't you join in? We'll learn about the Bible, Jesus forgiving sins. Though the world is scary, God will see us through. Keep loving your neighbor just as God keeps loving you.
Miss Roseann here. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to Ascension Kids Sunday School online. We miss being with all of you, and we pray for you each day. Now this week we have one birthday in Ascension Church Kids, and that is Cassandra, who will be turning 4 years old this Thursday. Will you help me with a very special Ascension Kids happy birthday to Cassandra? Would you help me? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Cassandra! Now today we have a special surprise for you. You have watched me on many Sundays share with you the Sunday school lesson. You have seen Miss Diana and Miss Tara also give you the stories from the Bible. For today's lesson, we have a Sunday school teacher in training. If someone is in training, they are learning how to do something new that they've never done before. Do you want to learn something that you have never done before? You might need some training then. Today, one of the kids in our youth group, Leah, will be presenting the lesson called God Provides Water. Leah, we are very excited to have you with us teaching here on Miss Roseann's Sunday School.
It's good to be here. Now, I'm going to ask you 3 questions before I tell you this story so you can carefully think about those questions when I'm telling it. This means you have to be a very good listener. Question 1. What problem did the Israelites have in this story? Question 2. What special way did God give the Israelites the water they needed to live in the hot, dry desert? Question 3. What important lesson did the Israelites learn when God provided them with water? Now, today's lesson is called God Provides Water. We thought of going outside in Miss Roseann's backyard to play some water games, but we're in November, and it's too cold to go outside for that. So instead, even though you know what water is, there's so much more to learn about it. Water is such a special creation of God. Here is Hannah reporting What is Water with Ascension News Network.
Water is all around us. We see water in oceans, rivers, lakes, swimming pools, and of course, in our kitchen and bathroom faucets at home. Look at your body. Did you know that your body is mostly made out of water? Amazing! Water is used in so many different ways. Farmers need it to water their plants and crops. In fact, without water, we will not have fruits, vegetables, or have grains like wheat or oats to make bread, pastas, cupcakes, or cookies. That would be terrible. People use water to clean mostly everything, including themselves. Thank God, because I don't like being dirty. Water is important to run machines, and we even use it to make electricity. People and animals cannot live without water. Water is wonderful. I can go on and on about all the ways we use water in the world, but what exactly is water and why is it so important for life? Did you ever hear someone say, I need some H2O? If you did, that person was talking about water. You might hear them say, Don't forget to drink enough H2O every day. H2O is like the recipe for water. This recipe is 2 atoms of hydrogen, that's the H, and 1 atom of oxygen, that's the O. But what are atoms, you ask? I don't see any atoms on this liquid measure. No, atoms cannot be just seen with your eyes. Atoms are the smallest, teeniest pieces in the world. In order to see an atom, we would have to look at it through a super duper powerful microscope. So if we looked at water with a super duper powerful microscope, we could see this recipe of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, H2O. This recipe is for 1 water molecule, the smallest amount of water. Water can change its looks if it is heated or cooled. This can be liquid, it can be ice, or it can be a vapor like steam. Like when we heat up the water to make tea or hot chocolate. Be careful not to burn yourself. Water does not stay in one place. It is constantly moving. This is called the water cycle. When it rains, you are looking at a part of a water cycle. The water on the earth gets heated by the sun and turns the water into vapor or steam. This vapor or steam goes up into the air and into the clouds. The steam is cooled up in the clouds and changed back into water. When the clouds get full of water, guess what? You guessed it, it starts to rain once more. When the rain comes down, cities and towns catch the water in large pools or reservoirs so that they can send it through big pipes into your home. Now, here in New York City, we are very thankful to have plenty of water to drink, to cook with, and to wash with. Everyone needs water to stay healthy. If we do not have water, we would not live. In fact, without water, we would die. However, for the Israelites in our story, water is not to be found. The Israelites followed Moses out of Egypt into a hot, dry desert. A desert is a place that has very little water. They were very, very thirsty. Would they get the water they needed to survive? Let's go back to Leah, who is inside ready to tell us what happened to the thirsty Israelites. This is Hannah Huang reporting for the Ascension News Network. Leah?
Moses, Aaron, and the Israelites were traveling through the desert. The special cloud God sent showed them the way to go each day. Each night it glowed like fire and gave them the light so they could see. Now, last week we saw that the Israelites were walking in the desert. They were hungry and they complained to Moses about not having enough food to eat. God didn't let them down and provided them with manna each day. So every morning the people gathered the manna, prepared it, and ate the special bread God had provided them to eat. Isn't it wonderful that God was keeping his people safe and caring for them in every way? But as they traveled across the hot, dusty desert, the Israelites became very, very thirsty. And they were running out of water they had brought with them. And did you know what they did? You guessed it! They complained again. They completely forgot about trusting God even though God was providing them with food each day in such a miraculous way. Sadly, the Israelites in the Bible have such a short memory. Many of them even shouted at Moses that he shouldn't have led them into Egypt in the first place. What are we going to do with those Israelites? Have you ever read the book or seen the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? There is a spoiled, bratty girl named Veruca Salt, and she demands her dad buys her one of the geese that lays golden eggs. I want a golden goose that lays a golden egg, and I want it now, she shouts at her dad. Very demanding. Well, the Israelites were sort of the same way. After they set up camp, the people looked around for the water, but no rivers, streams, lakes, or ponds could be found. They were upset and went to Moses. "Give us water to drink," they screamed. Some of the Israelites said that God wasn't even with them anymore. Didn't they see the food they were getting each day? Moses listened to the people's complaints and shouting, "Did you bring us out here to die? We should have stayed back at Egypt. Don't you have any water to give us, Moses?" Well, Moses did not have any water to give them, but the people were so angry they were about to attack him. Moses prayed to the Lord for help. "What should I do with these people?" he cried. "They are almost ready to stone me to death." God answered Moses. He told Moses to take some of the old leaders of Israel with him. God said that Moses should carry with him the staff he used to strike the Nile River when all the water turned to blood. God led Moses and the men to a certain rock at a place called Horeb. God said, "I will stand there before you by the rock. Strike the rock with your staff, and the water will come out of it for the people to drink." Moses trusted and obeyed God. He struck the rock with his staff, and water came gushing out of it. Everyone had plenty of water to drink. The Israelites saw once again that God was keeping his promise to take care of them. God gave them food and water when they needed it. God was teaching them to trust him. Now, getting back to Veruca, Saul, and the Israelites. It's easy for us to say and look at them and question, why did they behave that way? Why was Veruca Saul so demanding? Or why didn't the Israelites remember how God had provided them food and then trust in him on their own for the water they needed? But if we think about it carefully, sometimes we do not trust in God either. Day by day, we forget the wonderful things that God does for us and become worried about the next thing. As a child of God, we do not need to worry. We need to pray like Moses did and trust in God for an answer. Do you have the answer to the 3 questions I asked you earlier? Let's find out. Question 1. What problem did the Israelites have in this story? The Israelites kept having the same problem. They failed to trust in God. Question 2. What special way did God give the Israelites the water they needed to live in the hot, dry desert? God told Moses to hit a rock with his staff and water came gushing out. Question 3. What important lesson did the Israelites learn when God provided them with water? God wanted them to know he always keeps his word, and they should always trust in him to provide. Now it's time to sing the song, God Sent Water from the Rock, with Alexandra and Katie.
Did you know that you can fill up water glasses to different levels and they'll make different musical notes? Listen. I think we'll use this one to start our song. God sent water from the rock, from the rock, from the rock. God sent water from the rock, and the people drank it. God gives us what we need, what we need, what we need. God gives us what we need because he loves us.
You can do this at home. Just make sure to ask a parent's permission before using the water glasses.
Leah, thank you so much for providing the lesson in such a dynamic, creative way. We really appreciate it. And thank you too to Alexandra and Katie, leading songs for us all the way from London. Now, every Sunday, we put up on our website, www.discoverascension.net, the materials so that you can reread the story at home and do some crafts. And this week, we have the story of God provides water. And there is Moses striking the rock and the water gushing out. And this way, you and your family could reread the story together. And you can also color the picture and do the craft provided. There is a sheet here and you paste it on, you cut it out and you paste it on. And then you'll remember that the Lord watches over you, which is our Bible verse today. So let's read our Bible verse. Our Bible verse is, "The Lord watches over you." Psalm 121, verse 5. Could you reread that with me? The Lord watches over you. Psalm 121, verse 5. Now, if you like the story, would you please draw and color me a picture of one of your favorite parts? I would really love to see your drawings. Have mom or dad email it to me, and then we will put it up on Miss Roseann Sunday School. It was so good to be with you today, and thanks again to all of our helpers who helped with this episode. And on behalf of Pastor Michael and me and all of Ascension Church, we hope you had a wonderful, restful, and joyous Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time.